What if I told you that the fastest way to find a lasting relationship is to stop rushing? Sounds backwards, right? But here's the thing. The people who take their time in dating actually end up in committed relationships faster than those who sprint toward the finish line. Let's talk about why this happens. When you meet someone you're excited about, your brain floods with dopamine. You feel amazing. You want to see them constantly. You're already imagining your future together. This chemical rush is real, but it's also deceiving. It's your brain on infatuation, not love. Here's where most people mess up. They mistake this intensity for compatibility. They dive headfirst into a relationship before they actually know the person. They're spending every night together after 2 weeks. They're saying, "I love you," after a month. They're planning vacations before they've seen each other handle stress or conflict. The problem with this approach is simple. You're building a relationship on feelings, not foundation, and feelings change. When that initial chemical high wears off, usually around 3 to 6 months, you're left looking at someone you don't really know. That's when relationships built on intensity start crumbling. Now let's look at what happens when you go slow. When you pace yourself, you give your rational brain time to catch up with your emotional brain. You're not just feeling the connection, you're observing it. You're noticing how they treat waiters, how they handle disappointment, whether their actions match their words. Going slow means you're dating with intention, not just emotion. You're asking questions that matter. What are their values? How do they handle money? What's their relationship with their family? Do they take responsibility for their mistakes? These aren't sexy topics, but they're the ones that determine long-term compatibility. Here's the fascinating part. When you slow down, you actually filter faster. You're not wasting months in relationships that were never going to work. You're identifying red flags early before you're emotionally invested. You're saving yourself from painful breakups and starting over. Think about it like this. Rushing through dating is like speed reading a book. Sure, you finish faster, but you miss important details. You don't really understand the story. Going slow is like reading carefully. You absorb more, you understand deeper. And ironically, you find the right book faster because you're not reading the wrong ones. There's another benefit to pacing yourself. You maintain your own life. You keep seeing your friends. You continue your hobbies. You don't abandon your identity for this new person. This is crucial because healthy relationships are built between two whole people, not two halves desperately trying to become one. When you keep your independence, you also keep your attractiveness. Nobody wants someone who becomes completely absorbed in them immediately. That's not romantic. That's overwhelming. People are drawn to partners who have their own lives, interests, and sense of self. Going slow also builds real intimacy. Not just physical intimacy, but emotional intimacy. When you're not rushing into bed or commitment, you're forced to actually talk, to share stories, to be vulnerable gradually. This creates genuine connection, not just intensity masquerading as connection. Here's what slow dating looks like in practice. It means not texting constantly just because you can. It means seeing each other once or twice a week at first, not every day. It means letting the relationship develop naturally instead of forcing milestones. It means being comfortable with uncertainty instead of demanding immediate clarity. It also means being honest about what you're looking for without pressuring someone for commitment. You can be clear about wanting a serious relationship while still allowing things to unfold. These aren't contradictory, they're complementary. The research backs this up. Studies show that couples who date longer before committing have higher relationship satisfaction and lower divorce rates. They know each other better. They've seen each other in different contexts and situations. They've made a decision based on reality, not fantasy. So here's the truth. Going slow doesn't mean you're not interested. It means you're interested in something real. It means you value quality over speed. And paradoxically, this approach gets you to a healthy, lasting relationship faster than rushing ever could. Because you're not taking detours through relationships that were never going to work. You're being selective, intentional, and smart. And that's how you find something worth keeping.